Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brian. I'm here with Israel, and today we are interviewing our buddy Mark Briody from Jag Panzer. What's up, Mark?
Oh, nothing much. Glad to be here. Always enjoy chatting with you guys.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Jag Panzer are Metal Swap Meet alumni.
Yeah,
So,
recess with the presidents a few years ago, 2017. They're actually Brian and I is one of our favorite bands, so it was kind of like our little, screw everybody. We want Jag Panzer. We're gonna bring Jag Panzer.
Yeah, that was a fun gig. I mean, I had a great time. That's one of the most memorable shows I've ever done. I mean, that was just really cool.
I'm glad you guys had a good time, man. And we wanted to talk to you a little bit about this new year coming up. You guys have a lot of stuff planned already. And you have a new album coming out, so that's really exciting for us. And for most all of Jag Panzer fans. A new album. You're starting off a new tour coming up here shortly. So tell us about the new album. It's called the Hallowed, right? When is that expected to release?
I know the date. I don't think I'm supposed to say it yet, but it's a few months away. It's coming out on Atomic Fire Records. We did this record. It's a concept album, and we actually did the whole record while we were unsigned and shopped it afterwards. And we shopped 10 labels that we liked, and I think we had 9 offers out of the 10.
Oh.
So yeah, it was a tough decision, but I was really pushing for Atomic Fire because I remember when that team was Nuclear Blast, and I remember playing shows with Nuclear Blast bands and just seeing the amount of promotion they would have at each show. I mean, we toured with Hammerfall, and they had press people at every gig. I mean, I just thought, wow, I wish I was on a label like that. So now we're on that label, which is really cool. It's a concept album, comic book out based on the album. I'm trying to think there's going to be a couple songs released in advance of the record. Stay tuned coming up. I'm very proud of the record. I think it's a good record.
Awesome. Now, you mentioned you were with Atomic Fire Records this time around. The last album was the Deviant Chord, which I really enjoyed. You guys put that out still under SPV Steamhammer, is that correct?
Yeah, last 2 records on SPV.
Okay, great. So it's really cool that you guys picked up a new label, like a new experience, new fresh beginning for you guys again. Is there? Have you noticed already a big difference from what the SPV was providing for you before to what Atomic Fire is going to be doing for you guys now?
Yeah, and SPV was cool. They helped us a lot, and they did a lot for us. I don't have any problems with them. I like a lot of people at the label. I think it's really a matter of what's the best fit for the band. And so far this has been a great fit for us. I mean, when you sign with a label and on day one the guy that owns the label sends you a picture of his Jag Panzer collection, I mean, that's pretty cool. I've never had that happen to us. And the amount of interaction on social media I've had with Atomic Fire has so far passed up all the labels I've ever been on combined. They'll just chime in on things. It's a good fit for I know me personally, and from talking to my bandmates, they seem to be pretty happy.
Yeah, I guess when the album starts rolling out, that's kind of the true test of the label. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see what happens with that.
Yeah, because most labels just put out a release and that's it. But I've seen with other bands where they put out a release and the label will start adapting and maybe changing the promotion up a little bit, trying to do different things instead of just throwing it out there. So we're going to see what happens. I have faith that it's all going to be good.
Yeah, and also now your band has been kind of geographically divided. Probably wasn't always that case. How has that affected the band?
Yeah, it makes it hard, but we get past the hurdles. Yeah, we have a singer in Greece, couple band members in Phoenix, bass player that's, I guess, about 2 hours north of me. He's the closest musician. Yeah, but we've been apart for years, so this is nothing really new. We've been apart for, I guess, about 15 years now. We just have to work harder. We have to constantly record individually, change tapes, switch. I say tapes, just switch recordings back and forth with one another, on the phone every day with them, or chats. It's just really involves a lot more communication and a lot more trading audio files.
I understand you guys have a new guitar player, Ken Rodarte, who recently just became a full-time member. How's that been working with Ken?
Yeah, he's been with us for the past, I think it's 4 years now. He's done 3 tours with us. He was a great touring member, but it's a completely different animal when you're writing a record and putting stuff down, coming up with parts. So he said he wanted the gig. We weren't sure he wanted the gig. We knew he liked touring with us, but he's always got a bunch of stuff going on. So he said he wanted the gig, and we let him start writing his own, writing some parts, see how he contributed. And I knew he was the guy after 3 songs, but we had one guy in the band that said, nope, I want to hear every single song. And, and even after 9 songs, I said, come on, these 9 are great. They are. Need to hear the 10th. Okay. But this one guy, right when he heard the 10th, he called me within minutes of getting the file. Okay, give Ken the job.
I wonder who that was. Here for now. Awesome. So I'm glad you found that permanent guitar player now that can kind of match with you going back and forth with guitar work, because I know that in the past the bulk of the writing has been produced by yourself, right? Yeah. So talk about the upcoming tour. You guys are headed to Europe here shortly in a few days.
Yeah.
The first gig is in Poland. How good does it feel to get back out there, especially after all that's been going on with the pandemic?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, not only it feels great to play my guitar, it's going to be great getting on stage. And, the guys in the band, I've known them my whole life. They're my brothers. So it's going to be great seeing them. I mean, it's going to be great. I get there before everybody else. I mean, just seeing them come off the plane and seeing them is going to be great. Whole thing is going to be really cool. This is an old school set tour. So we're playing everything that's been written at least 20 years ago. So we figure, let's play these songs, which, we're still into the older material. So let's just do a little tour with all of that. And then we're going back to Europe in the summer, and then it's to promote the new album. So that's going to be a completely different thing then.
You guys have a couple festivals already lined up. I think, was it Bang Your Head one of them, or is it?
No, Headbangers Open Air, Vakken, and then Alcatraz.
Yeah.
So three very cool festivals, and then a lot of shows in between the festivals. So we're gonna be over in Europe for a while.
Awesome. Is John Tetley making the trip as well?
No, we wish he could. John has trouble standing up for longer. He's got bone on bone from ankle to foot. Yeah, he's had leg problems most of his life, which is unfortunate. And so his bass playing is incredible. He sounds great on the new album. Did a lot of contribution. He just can't stand up for over 15 or 20 minutes. He played Prague Power with us, and his ankles really swelled up, and we felt bad for the guy. I mean, he's our brother. So yeah, he's not going to make these shows.
You have Eric Avina traveling with you guys for
Yeah. Eric's I guess he's on his 3rd or 4th year with us as touring bassist.
Cool. Awesome.
Mark, where did the idea spawn for the comic book?
Oh, well, we set up a private chat for the band, and we ended up with 7,000 messages in there, and everybody was talking about the story, and it's sort of a different story, and everybody was talking about it and asking things and asking, like, Harry, what happens in this part of the story, or tell me about this character. So it really started, you could just read between the lines there with all the comments that we really need to do something with this. So I thought a comic book would be a good idea. I looked at the price of it, and not cheap, just for the amount of art that needs to be done. So we busted out the spreadsheet and figured if I did like 600 of them and sold all of them, we could break even, which is cool. So this is a break even, but I've sold over half of them already, and the album's months out from coming out. So I'm happy with it.
Great.
It's a little different. The story involves sort of close cooperation between people and animals in a post-apocalyptic world. So the lyrics from the album are written from the viewpoint of the animals, while the comic book is the viewpoint of the human. And you'll see the song titles written in the comic book, so you can follow along what's going on. But you would notice when you're listening to the album, wow, that's a different viewpoint on this story from the comic book to the lyrics. You'll see the same thing happening, different viewpoints.
Well, that's interesting. Back to some shows. Do you guys have any plans to play shows in the U.S. anytime in the next year or two?
We don't have anything coordinated in the U.S. It's getting more difficult, at least for us. I mean, we're having, it's really easy for us booking some great shows in Europe. We've got a great agent over there, and everything's flowing really well. And unfortunately, that's not happening in the U.S. We've tried to get on a few festivals here, and it's just not happening. I don't understand why. I mean, it's sort of strange to me that we can get on the most world-class festivals in Europe and nothing in the United States. But I don't know, honestly. I hope it gets remedied.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that a lot of people keep asking. It's like, why don't you guys play the States? Why don't you guys play Florida? Why don't you guys play California? And people should really understand that it's not up to you guys. It's up to
Right.
whoever.
No.
And
Yeah.
nobody
Like,
who pays hard.
Yeah, like we'll get occasional offers. We had one come in a couple weeks ago, and this sounds like a really cool gig, but based on expenses, it would have been a money loser. But that's okay if we can get a show a few days before and maybe one after, and then that's when it starts to fall apart. I mean, we've got to get Harry over here from Europe, so our expenses. It's not like all of us hop on a plane from Colorado. We've got to coordinate some things. So yeah, we've gotten as far as grouping maybe a couple dates together. It's still money losing, but yeah, we just can't get them all strung together and can't come up with anything.
Yeah, and then couple the fact that you guys all have real time daytime
Yeah.
jobs, families, and all that. To have you out 2 or 3 weeks losing money is just, it's not. You can see how it starts to pile on, and it's not something that you want to get into. When the money is not there and the logistical cost is too much, for sure.
Yeah, and when we play the U.S., we rent a van. We don't bring a road crew. We sell our own merch. We tech our own guitars. We're our own tour managers. So we're really cutting down expenses to, I think, the bare minimum. And yeah, we still haven't been able to make it work yet. We're still working on it, though. I mean, I love playing the U.S., so not giving up.
Now, going back to the album, you mentioned that you'll be doing a promotional tour as soon as it comes out, and you're gonna be doing the festival, and the set list is gonna change. Now, the album itself, is this more akin to what you guys were doing early in your career, like Apple Construction, or are you going somewhere down the middle, or you're doing the Casting the Stones and stuff like that, or is this something that's more akin to what you did with the Deviant Chord, or a mix of everything?
It's definitely closer to Ample Destruction, but that really wasn't done on purpose. It was done to cater to the story, because when we did Thane of the Throne, our first concept album, we treated it like we were hired to do a heavy metal score to the play Macbeth. So it approached songwriting differently. So we did that the same way again. Harry outlined the story, all of us fleshed it out, and then we scored the story. Where it's similar to Ample is, our past few albums, we make heavy use of violin and strings. They don't even show up on the new album till halfway through the last song. So it's just much more stripped down metal because that's what suit this story. There was no original plan. Let's make this sound like Ample, or let's make it sound old school. No, that was not the plan. It was just what song suits this part of the story.
Now, from the upcoming tour in Europe, which of the cities are you most excited about visiting again or visiting for the first time?
Yeah, that's a tough call because there's places I've played before, like in Essence, and actually every place we've been to. Athens, Thessaloniki in Greece. We've been there many times. We've been to the Netherlands and Greece. So we played all the venues, and those are all fantastic venues. I mean, every single one of them. I know that sounds outrageous and highly coincidental. I would say that, but it's honestly true. Those are great venues. So there's something to look forward to because you remember the time you had. But then also, this is our first time in Poland and our first time in Cyprus. And that's really cool because you don't know what to expect. I mean, Poland, there could be, 20 people there or 400. I mean, I have no clue. We played once in Bulgaria and it was a small crowd, but it was a great gig. And I had a lot of fun. We went outside after the gig and there's 300 people outside listening. And we had no idea it was a private gig. So I was like, wow, okay. Because I thought, it's just a small crowd, but it's still a really fun gig. But there's all these people listening outside. So that was a cool, something different. So we'll see how it goes in Poland and Cyprus for the first time.
Yeah. So on this new album, is there any kind of like more nuggets you can kind of give us about maybe the sound on the album that would be different from maybe the last album?
Totally different approach to drums. Last two albums were drums in a drum room, very small room, very close mic drums, very much like the drum sound that started in the later 80s where you isolated each drum. So you had this isolated kick drum. So we went a totally different direction. We put Rickard's drum kit in a big room, left all the mics open, and people don't really do that anymore. That's the John Bonham style of recording drums. That's on any Led Zeppelin record where you just open up all the mics. And if you need the drums to be louder, you just turn up the room mics. So yeah, the drums have a very live feel and lots of stuff, lots of bleed into microphones. For the guitars, we didn't gate anything. So you're going to hear a lot of feedback. There's some noise and some squeals. I think it sounds cool. So this is a much noisier record. I think this is the most feedback and noise we've ever done.
Sounds pretty killer. That's all I have for now.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for hanging with us for a little bit. I know you got some stuff to pack. Speaking about packing, you guys have like a lot of merch that you're gonna be taking. Well, some merch that you're taking with you that are gonna be like for fans, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the cool things that I noticed lately, and started to throw this last one at you. You seem to be a very fan-oriented band, and it's one thing that I saw on some of your posts was that you guys don't charge for meet and greets, and you guys are not gonna charge somebody to sign an autograph or take a picture. And where did you get that I guess ethic yourself?
Oh, I got it when I was a kid. I was seeing shows on a fake ID when I was had just turned 15. So I was seeing shows, and back then we had a thriving club scene. With bands were playing 6 nights a week, and these were good bands. And I saw as a kid who I wanted to be like and who I did not want to be like. There were bands there that wouldn't give me the time of day because I was a boy. As a 15-year-old kid, And there were other guys who would be really cool. The coolest band was the Offenders, who had Randy Castile, that later went on to Ozzy and Lita Ford, and Randy Rand, that later went on to Autograph. They were a 3-piece band. They played here regularly. They were great, and they answered every question I have. I mean, everything. I'd say, how do you mic that guitar? Oh, come on up, Mark. And then they'd show me, here's how we're doing it. how are you getting that drum sound? Oh, I mean, they were great. And they were like that with everybody. I mean, they were just really cool. They would put on a kick-ass show and then just talk to people. And also some of the bigger shows. I remember seeing April Wine when I was in high school, and they're throwing stuff out to the audience, guitar picks, and it was just cool. I didn't get anything, but I tried, and it was a cool environment. So, we had a band meeting, and we said, let's start doing that with this tour. What can we give out? I mean, it's got to be financially reasonable. I mean, you can't get extravagant, but you can be real. So Rickard said, I use sweatbands every tour, but he was buying them from the local sporting goods store, which could get a little pricey. So we actually had sweatbands with our logo done on it, and they're like half the price of what he was paying for. So that's something he can throw out. We got tons of guitar picks. I had a buddy of mine got me a deal on dog tags, and Harry always wears dog tags. And I said, Harry, I got like 100 for you. And he said, oh, great. I can throw a set out at every show. So, so there's definitely going to be a giveaway each night. And I hope more bands do that. I mean, not that I don't need credit for that because other people have been doing it long before me, but I think it makes it cool for fans because I know I really liked it. I'd like it now if I went to a gig and somebody threw me something. Sometimes they throw me guitar picks and I always keep them. We're also bringing some merch over to this tour, and I hope they get in because I've had no help. I know when you bring merch over, if you just try to sneak it in your luggage, that's smuggling and not legal. So I do not want to do that. So I'm trying to do it legal. So you have to declare it, but nobody tells you what you have to do. I've written help desk, I've called people, and I've got no answers. So I spent the past 3 months digging into European import regulations. So I'm just documenting everything on a spreadsheet and printing it out and going to the airport. I have one bag dedicated to merch, and I'm going to hand them the piece of paper and say, here's what I have. Here's how much money I think I owe you. Please take my money. And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I think as long as you declare it, you should be fine.
Yeah.
Order gifts.
Yeah, it's a little scary because almost every band I know has had merch seized, but they won't tell me the situation behind it. So yeah, I'm just going to be very, very upfront with what I have and what the VAT is and what the duty fees are and what I have calculated. And I hope they don't seize it, but I'm confident that it's going to be okay.
Well, if they don't seize it, I hope all the fans get to buy it up.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, thanks a lot again. We hope to see you sooner than later. We wish you nothing but the best in this upcoming tour, and we can't wait for the new album. The Hallowed coming sometime this spring, supposedly. I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
Maybe
sometime.
It sound like second quarter of this year.
Yep. On Atomic Fire Records.
Yeah, I've been told not to really. I mean, it's amazing how much you're told not to tell people. And I'm always thinking, why do they tell the band then? I mean, just you don't want me to say anything, just don't tell me it at all. And this is it's so common in the music business is, everything's great. You sign a deal and then you get a whole bunch of stuff. Here, we're telling you this, but don't tell anybody. Oh, here's this other thing. Don't mention it. Here are these other 2 things. Don't mention them. Okay.
Well, have a great time out there. We'll see you soon, and pick up the new Jag Panzer when it's out, whenever it's out. Let us know what you think about it. Follow us on our socials, Metal Swap Talk on YouTube, Instagram, Metal Swap Meet, Facebook, Metal Swap Meet,
MetalSwapMeet.com,
MetalSwapMeet.com,
all that stuff,
everywhere we're at, and follow Jag Panzer everywhere as well.
How did the swap meet go with Gene?
Oh, it was killer. He crashed.
It was killer, man. He
crashed it.
It was it's more than
he's amazing. I mean, amazing drummer, amazing guy.
Yeah, he goes every year, so we're like, well, we might as well put you to work.
Yeah, and he always would come in and would actually pay his entrance.
Yeah,
like no, don't pay, and he's like, no, I'm gonna pay. He's just
he supports.
he always supports, which is great, and Hopefully we get you out here for a guitar clinic or something one of these days.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, man. Well, thanks again for hanging with us, man. And we really do hope the European tour goes as planned, and you guys fucking kick ass out there and have a great time. And we're glad to see that Jag Panzer's back on the horse, fucking riding high, especially at the beginning of the year, hitting it running, man. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for hanging with us for a little bit.
All right, thank you, Mark.
Okay, bye.
Hey, brother.